So greetings, beloveds, and peace be with you. Welcome to Unity of Tempe. I'm so glad for those of you who are here. Yay! Give yourself a clap. Yes. And for those who are watching online, I hope that you will join us very soon. So I am Reverend Mitzi, if you don't know. For those watching online, I think everyone here knows me. But how is your new year going so far? Perhaps you're still contemplating your word for the year and things you want to manifest. Anyone who have their word for the year? Who has their word for the year? Shout it out if you do. Friendship. Oneness. Oh, wonderful. Creativity, patience. Wonderful. If you don't have it, it's only the second Sunday of January, so you have time. And if you missed December 31st message, go online and watch it because you'll be able to come up with your word for the year through that process that we did. So to help us with supporting our dreams and our goals for this year, I'm going to revisit one of my favorite messages, one I've not shared in about, I think, around 9 years. So I don't even know when I last shared it for sure. But I was inspired to share this particular message after finishing the series Julia on Max. Has anyone seen it? It is so good. If you have Max, it is so good. It's about Julia Child, and it is just absolutely wonderful. And also, after I had finished catching up with the last episodes of the Great British Baking Show on Netflix over Christmas. I just love that show. I love cooking shows, but I especially love that one, even though it's not vegetarian or vegan, because everyone is kind to each other. And that is a rarity these days and something to be celebrated. So now as we examine creating our own perfect recipes today, there's a correct way and an incorrect way of following a recipe. So here is an incorrect way.
Pizza sauce, mushrooms, bacon, onion, pepperoni, pineapple, 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 pineapple,
Yes, pineapple belongs on pizza, and of course, the pepperoni and the bacon were vegetarian pepperoni and bacon. They were veggie standards, but that, I cannot tell you how many times I've watched that with tears streaming down my eyes. That is so funny. So this morning, for creating our perfect recipes, we'll have fun with foundational unity ideas. And remember that while the world right now can look in many ways like it's following a recipe of disaster, our personal recipes begin not in the outer, but where? Within. With the dish that we create in our consciousness. So let us refresh our minds with ways to create something delicious and support our dreams and goals for this year with this message entitled Life's Secret Recipe. All right, so we're going to get our little apron on here. Let's see. All right, there we go. So we all ready to start our cooking lesson today? Yes. So today we're going to be creating a dish called Life. Now you probably have your own recipes, some that have been handed down from generation to generation, and some of those life recipes may be working out really well for you. And some of them, well, let's just say they're producing less than yummy-licious results. Anyone? Yes. So today's recipe is inspired actually by my favorite book of Dr. Ernest Holmes. He is founder of a sister denomination of Unity, and it is called This Thing Called Life. Now, while this is not a cookbook per se, there are all sorts of ideas for life recipes in it. And while each of us are chefs of our own lives, God, whether we call God God, Spirit, the universe, is, of course, the master chef of all. And what dish this year is the master chef inviting you to create? A dish that emphasizes health, prosperity, and happiness? I think we'd say yes, right? Anyone not want more health? No, we all want more health, prosperity, and happiness. Or one that supports peace and creativity and a positive contribution to society. Anyone not want that? No, so we'll say yes to all of that as well. So today we're going to learn a 6-step recipe process which, when followed correctly, will allow you to create your dream dish. So let us begin. So the R in recipe is for round up your cooking tools. So the first step in following this recipe is to gather your pots and your pans and your utensils and everything that you are going to need. And you're going to make sure that they are clean and not coated with residue from prior use. Good tools are the foundation for the success of your recipe. Now, in metaphysical terms, these items are your spiritual practices. So think of these as your spiritual practices. And what are those? They're your prayer, your meditation, your visioning, your visualizing, your reading, your studying, your spending quiet time in nature, spending quiet time with God, all of those things. Maybe it's dancing. Maybe it's what it is for you. For me, it was actually catching up on some shows and being relaxed. All of these can be spiritual practices if we do them in a mindful way. That's the idea, listening to Spirit. Because as we take time to plug into the source, we connect with God, setting the foundation for faith, which is a key element of creating the dish we desire. Now, what happens when we skimp on our spiritual practices? Well, then we can produce a dish which can be a soggy, undesirable, undercooked mess. Our goals, our dreams, everything doesn't come to fruition. In the Great British, who watches the Great British Baking Show? Oh, just a few. So some of you won't get this, but Paul Hollywood likes to say when a pie comes out and it's all gooey underneath, he says it has a soggy bottom. That's right, nobody wants a soggy bottom, right? It's kind of like the Monty Python. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Okay, let's carry on with the E in recipe. The first E stands for, say it with me, extract negative beliefs. So your utensils are ready and you have awareness of how to use them, how to use your spiritual practices. So it's time to put your largest stock pot on your stove. I actually have a much larger one than this, but this fit nicely. So we'll imagine it's huge, right? So into this stock pot, you are going to drop all of your beliefs, all of them. Both the positive ones and the negative ones. And you're like, well, no. Why on earth would I add any negative beliefs into my recipe? Because most of the time, the good and the bad beliefs are all kind of intermingled. And we can't even distinguish which one is different from each other. So we just know that they're our beliefs. This is my belief, right? And so it's only when they're placed into the stock pot or the pressure cooker that the true essence emerges. So, say it with me. What are we adding in? Go ahead. Health. Yes, we'll add that. We'll add in some success. And, sometimes we just have some doubt. So we'll put that in. Oh, but look at this one. It's a wonderful, one of our principles and qualities, 12 powers, wisdom. We love that. But then again, sometimes we just get into a bunch of fear. And sometimes we have, from our fear or from physical pain, so we'll put that in. But what we really want in life is abundance. Yes, but then sometimes we start on something and we fear rejection, or we feel that life is a big old struggle. And then, oh my goodness, we have a moment of harmony. We love that one. But sometimes we feel limitation in our lives. But where are we right now? We are at something of Tempe, unity. We want unity. And someone said, Catherine said, that her word for the year is creativity. Sometimes we just feel an old bunch of lack. But Kent Reaney is wearing a shirt today which emphasizes peace. He's got his peace shirt on today. He came in and said, I'm being a hippie today. I said, no, you're being all peaceful, and that is a wonderful thing to be. But sometimes we just have a lot of worry. Anyone else worry apart from me? I certainly get into worry at times. Sometimes we just feel unhappy at life. But then our big old heart is filled with generosity. And we feel an abundance of freedom. Sometimes we just plain old feel miserable, etc., etc., etc. All right, so you've got so many beliefs, you might have to mash them down into the pot to get them all in. And you're going to turn the stove to high and allow that mixture to come to a boil. And soon it's going to get really super duper steamy in the kitchen because it's boiling, right? And this actually happened to me the other day as I was making a beautiful pot of soup for Ron on his return home from Orlando. It got so steamy in the kitchen that the fire alarm went off not once, but I think about 4 times. The cats were like, what is going on? And this is a true story. But soon, what's going to happen is you're going to notice a really nasty gray foam is going to start rising up to the top. It's going to come up. And this is all of your negative beliefs. They're going to rise up to the top, as they do when we often think of doing something new. We get all excited about it, don't we? And then we're like, oh, but I can't. And all those negative beliefs begin to rise up. So what are you going to do? You're going to reach in here, and you're going to stir around, and you are going to find all of those negative beliefs. And look at this. They've all risen to the surface where they love to hang out. And so you don't want those negative beliefs, do you? Absolutely not. So what are we going to do with those? Well, we are just going to put those into the garbage disposal. Imagine garbage disposal there. But what do we have to do? Run the water and flush them away. Yes. So we're now going to turn this down to a nice, fine, spiritual simmer. And we're going to move on to the C in recipe, is for combine only specific ingredients desired. So now that you're left all with your positive beliefs here, it's time to add only the finest ingredients to your recipe. Be sure to add only what you want, because you may be tempted, well, so-and-so wants me to add in this. So-and-so wants me to do that. So-and-so wants me to do this. I don't know who so-and-so is, but there are a lot of them in the world. So let's just be very clear that we only add what is really calling our heart. So I think for all of us, we agreed that we would like to add some perfect health. So we're going to put that in there right now. And most of us can agree that we would like to see more love. Now, whether that means love or friendship or whatever that means to you, we'll go ahead and put that in. If it's not what you want, you don't put it in your pot. Most of us are accepting of a little bit more money, so we'll go ahead and add that in. And for many of us, we're here because we love being in deeper spiritual connection with each other and with spirit. Now, here's one of a house. Yes, I am no Picasso or Renoir or anything like that. But maybe you're thinking you've got something that you want to do on your house. Maybe it's a new house. Maybe it's a project around the house. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you got to replace the garbage disposal after all of those negative beliefs went down there. But anyways, we're going to put that in. And maybe it's more business clients. Maybe it's success in school and your college. I don't know what it is. We'll go ahead and add those in as well. And remember that this is your recipe. And if you had been asked to make a special cake for someone that you really, really love and adore, you would never dream of just going to your fridge without going to the store first and grabbing whatever was in the fridge. Oh, I've got some oatmeal and I've got some mustard and I've got some molasses and I'll put them all together and they'll taste good. No, it would be a recipe for a baking disaster. So you want to add only what is important to you into your recipe. And as you're adding those ingredients to your recipe, you're going to visualize and get into the feeling space. I love that, the feeling space of what it looks like for you. Get into the feeling of it and accept it as truth and confidently accept God's blessing on your success. So now you are going to mix those all in and combine them with all of the other beliefs on your stove. Continue to let them go on the nice little simmer. And we'll move to the I in recipe is for, let's say it together, include vital nutrients. Well, what could those be? What vital nutrients could we have? And as our dish is going to be shared with its others, it's very important to add liberal and very, very generous amounts of these. So, let's see, what's the first one? Love. For who? For everyone, including ourselves. Love for self and others. Oh, next one. Acceptance for self and others. Patience. Somebody had a word, patience. Well, we're adding that in for this. Liberal amounts. Now, the last one. The last vital nutrient is crucial to the success of how your year is going to show up, how life shows up, how our life recipe is. And some people, because of past hurts, might find themselves reaching for vinegar instead of this nutrient. Even experienced chefs may do that. But this one is crucial. Does anyone have any idea what it might be? Salt? Well, it's kind of like vinegar in a way. Anything else? Sugary goodness. Well, we can add some of that too. Forgiveness. Oh my goodness, we got to add that one in, because failing to add forgiveness means we're going to continue to blame others for the way the dish of our life shows up. And in fact, if we don't add forgiveness, we might find ourselves being victims and martyrs. So we want to, and then wondering why our life is so unsavory. And in addition to adding that forgiveness, it's really important to be honest and say, do I owe any amends anywhere? You might have to add a little bit more forgiveness. Let's just put a lot in there. Back. There we go. If you're tempted to add any inferior ingredients, stir it up with spiritual practices. And then you're going to set the temperature to full faith during the remainder of the cooking process. Now, you may be tempted at times to turn the dial to doubt. Anyone ever? Instead of keeping it on full faith, you got your ideas and your things and it turns to doubt. Well, when we do this, it results in a dish which is overcooked with cynicism, skepticism, and disbelief. And all of us have probably made this belief before in many ways. You may be tempted at times, too, to turn the stove to despair. And this results in a dish which is undercooked and murky, and it just produces results that are of low self-worth and low self-love. So remember that the key is to set the dial to what? What kind of faith? Okay, somebody's listening. Let's say it together. Full faith. Set the dial to full faith. Exactly. And leave it there and be patient. You should power it with full faith. In fact, right here, you should power it with full faith, because that is the P. So no wonder you guys are like, what? We haven't got to that step. I'm expecting you to already know. The P is power with full faith, of course. And keep stirring it as it's set there. So the E, The last E in the recipe is for, let's say it together, energize with the secret seasoning. Oh my goodness, fried green tomatoes. That makes me think of the secret sauce. It's not that type of seasoning. So Ernest Holmes, in his book, This Thing Called Life, mentions these secret ingredients throughout his book. In fact, on one page, he mentions one of them 5 times, so they must be pretty important. Does anyone have any idea what these secret ingredients might be? Secret seasonings. Anyone? We got love in there, but that was an excellent idea. That's a good one too. Well, I'm going to give you, it's 3 letters, beginning with a J. Joy! Joy! We're going to add some joy. And another one, because nothing great is achieved without enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. So we're going to add lots of enthusiasm. He says that these two, joy and enthusiasm, are the very essence of life. The very essence of life, joy and enthusiasm. So you're going to put lots of that in there. And as you then get ready, stirring it up, powered on full faith, to put the lid on your pot, there we go, you are going to seal the lid of your consciousness to anything that denies good. And you're going to open your heart and mind to receive only the very best which life has to offer. And so you're going to cook this patiently with complete assurance and conviction that you, together with the master chef, God, have co-created a recipe for a perfect life. And be sure to keep that stove set to everyone. Full faith. And while you're waiting for your creation to manifest, rest with confident assurance that this recipe will produce something which will delight you. And when the timer buzzes, remove from the heat, yes, and inhale the delicious aroma and congratulate yourself. Go ahead and congratulate yourself now. That's it. You've done it. You have created something magnificent. And savor the success slowly, relishing every delicious spoonful, because that's the way the master chef meant it. Bon appetit! Yes. So, I hope you had fun with that. To anchor this message, I'm going to share a song which has been revamped and with a bossa nova jazz beat. And I heard this on Friday night. I was running to pick Ron up from the airport, and I heard it on K-Jazz. And there's a lovely jazz instrumental in the middle of this song. During that, rather than kind of like, oh, there's a long jazz instrumental, what do I do now? I invite you to think about the things that you are cooking up this year, the things that you are creating, and see them easily coming to fruition.
Happy talk, keep talking, happy talk. Talk about things you'd like to do. You've got to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true? Talk about the moon floating in the sky, looking like a lily on a lake. Talk about the bird learning how to fly, making all the music you can make. Happy talking, talking, happy talk. Talk about things you'd like to do. You've got to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream? Talk about the star, looking like a toy, peeking through the branches of a tree. Talk about the girl, talk about the boy, counting all the ripples on the sea. Happy talk, keep talking, happy talk. Talk about things you'd like to do. You've got to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true? If you don't talk happy and you never have a dream, you will never have a dream come. Happy talk, keep talking. Happy talk.
Doesn't that make you want to go to jazz night somewhere? Like, we should do that somewhere, or just have jazz night here or something. Just so fun. Oh, my goodness. Let us say together, I am a beloved child of God, here to be an ambassador of good. And so this is the time where we get to share. We're so grateful to share our financial blessings. We're grateful because we have financial blessings to share. And we know that as we share, as we give, we receive. And we also know that we support our beloved community. So before you collect, I invite you to, it's so fine, but I invite you to take your tithes and your offerings. We're going to do this bottom part first of all. This is from Joe's community where he also goes back east. So take your tithe. If you're doing by phone, just take your phone and just press down onto that and fold all your love into it. And if the word God doesn't fit you, say another word for spirit. And say, I give my tithes and offerings to God and I reap a millionfold. And now we say together, because we are joyful about this, I am a joyful sharer of my good. I remember that as I give, I receive, and that God is my source. Thank you, Lori and Glenda.
Can you put the Venmo up?
Yes, I'm going to do that right now. We have Zelle and PayPal. Yes, thank you.
Whichever one.
Yes. Thank you, Lori and Glenda, for doing that, and Joe for being our prayer minister there. And so we accept and affirm that all of these gifts are blessed and received in a joyful way, distributed in the perfect way for the highest and best good of Unity of Tempe and for all of us. We're so grateful to have this community to gather and to support one another. And we know that each and every person who shares from their heart also receives back a bazillionfold. We bless every single prayer that is in the prayer box or will ever be in the prayer box, affirming and accepting the highest and best answer possible. And so it is. Amen. So you know that we partner with Matthew's Crossing Food Bank. Again, thank you. Look at this. This was from our December 31st haul. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Give yourselves all a round of applause. This is amazing. So our next intentional collection is January the 28th. And thank you so much for all of these. I know they make a difference. There are so many people out who are really, really, really having a very hard time having enough food. So tomorrow is the MLK parade, which is in Mesa. And it's actually going on from 11 till 4. There's a lot of events going on. Arizona Interfaith Movement is actually walking in the parade. If you would like to walk in the parade as part of that organization, see Joe Rojas afterwards. He'll tell you about that. They're inviting people to wear one solid color of jacket. I guess my pink coat would be okay because that's a solid color, right? And if you just want to come later from 12 till 4, they're having all kinds of fun events and things. But I loved this quote also. We must walk on in the, let's say this together. We must walk on in the days ahead with an audacious faith in the future. Oh my goodness, it's challenging sometimes to do that, but it's that word audacious, to keep walking on. So I invite you to be part of that. I also have a piece of paper with more information on it if you need it. Unity Walk, oh my goodness, we love the Unity Walk so much. This is coming up. It's January 27th. We love this walk. Come be part of it. Actually, I had some people from Epiphany already say, I can't wait to join with you again in doing this. And you get a free t-shirt just for going. It's great. So mark this on your calendar. This is so much fun. We'll walk together, and it is a wonderful event. It's not just Unity Church at all. It is the cities, all the cities come together to walk along Tempe Town Lake. It's a wonderful, fun evening. So come do that. Yeah, we will meet somewhere and we'll figure that out. We've got another couple of weeks to do that. Also on that day, very quickly, and I'll have maybe some information on it, there's something called Tempe Bloom going on, which is something to do with some type of flower event. And I don't have a flyer on that or anything, but around the businesses of Tempe, they're having beautiful flower arrangements on the 27th and 28th. And that's going on in the morning as well. So Ron and I thought, well, we'll combine both of them and do both of those fabulous events. So I want to remind you that you are important, you matter, you make a difference, and you are so very, very loved. When you are here, we just appreciate you being here. Not just because we're like, oh, we got to have you here. Because we miss you, we love you, we care about you. And you are our spiritual family, all of you together. So be with us next week for more spiritual information to support you in living your best life. We're going to be starting a series either next week or the week after. I'm not 100% sure what it is yet, but it'll be a series then. So be with us and invite someone to come be with us so we can grow our family. We want to have some births in our family this year, some expansion in our family. Let us say together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is well, and we are grateful. For those watching online, I hope that you will be able to be with us in person very soon. Have a blessed and wonderful week.